Catch up on all the live shows right here on africatechradio.com.
Hi, this is the 3Ts on Africa Tech Radio. My name is Lillian as usual. And of course, we're talking to you about travel, tours, and tourism on this beautiful dial. You see, you might be sitting in your home or your office. You might be seeing people on trips, even if it's, romantic trips. And of course, you're a single Pringle. But that's not what I'm talking about, right? You're seeing these people having fun, going places, different places in the world, in Africa. And you're saying, oh, God, when? God, when? And when you're asked, why haven't you packed a bag to visit some places in Africa? You'd start listing some myths about some of the things you've heard or some of the things you think about the continent that is Africa. And today we're going to be talking about some myths that the people have about traveling in Africa. We would know whether they're true or not and try to debunk them, okay? The first myth is that adventure needs fitness. Some people think that you have to be super fit to try adventurous things like hiking. Honestly, I used to be of that school of thoughts. I'm like, guy, I don't go to the gym. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't even want to know when you say, Lillian, let's try hiking. That is not something I would like to try, okay? I'd rather try, I don't know, lounging. But it doesn't really require fitness. Okay, unless your doctor says do not walk a long mile or do something really stressful, then you don't have any reason to say I am not into hiking. Okay, even if you are on the large side, you can go hiking and have some fun. Only thing though is that you should reduce the kilometers you want to hike. That's just simple. And some people say, you know what, I don't want to go on an adventure because it's a total waste of time. I'll use this time to make some money or stalk people on the internet. Come on, bro. Come on. Adventure is really exciting. Have you ever been in that situation where somebody will tell you, Lillian, I want to invite you for this event that we're having. It's a 3-day event, blah, blah, blah. And then you say, okay, I'll go. But when it's time to go, you say, you know what, I don't want to go anymore. Then they convince you to go. And it turns out to be one of the best things you've ever done in your entire life. That is the same thing with adventure. You say, okay, I don't want to go hiking. I don't want to go on this. I don't want to go to this. I don't want to. But when you're done, you've tried new things, you've had experiences, you've done a lot of exciting and fulfilling things, then you realize that, well, I think I was wrong. And in that ballpark of being a waste of time, some people feel like adventures or you have to break the bank to have an adventure, to travel. And I've told you before, you do not have to break the bank to do anything, okay? Everything we did for this world, get the one we did for Mr. A and the one we did for Mr. B. So if you be Mr. A, where if you afford first class trips, best hotels and best destinations, then go for it. But if you're Mr. B who want to save our money for another thing in future, then go for the one that you can do. That's just so simple, okay? Was it yesterday that a colleague talked about affordable trip to Ibadan? And I'm going. I am gonna go. I will just bring that money that they said we should bring and some more and go. I want to have fun. We're going to do different activities in Ibadan and I want to go. It's going to be really affordable. We're going to take a train to Ibadan because I'm in Lagos right now. So from Lagos to Ibadan to be a train ride and we'll have some fun. I am all for that. So adventure is not always expensive. Now your eye, they carry you go with your pocket nourish. I'm sorry. Someone had to say it. Now we're going to go into the next mess. You know that some people feel like adulting is all about throwing away the child in you, right? So anything that looks like it's going to be for only kids and young people, they say, no, I'm too old for that. The anthem is, I'm too old for that. I'm too old for that, And I'll tell you that adventure is not for young people alone, okay? It is not for young people alone. No matter your age, there are people who still silvers who go on adventures. These people go on vacations. They go travel to different countries, different states, different cities. And you're saying it's only for kids. Come on. Have you heard of the one that they tell you that travel is risky? Like you are coming into Nigeria and they tell you that, do you know what? If you want to come into Nigeria, Nigeria is dangerous. Africa is dangerous. If you go to this place, they will kidnap you. If you go to this place, they will do this. They will extort you. have heard it all. But come on, let us ask ourselves this question, okay? I want to ask you this question. Is there any way or anywhere that is 100% safe? You will go to some places in the UK, they will mock the living daylight out of you. You go to somewhere in the US, they might, gun you down or you extort you. I'm saying no continent, no country has monopoly of crime, monopoly of madness. It is evenly distributed amongst us. Maybe not evenly, but you just have to find ways to be safe when you travel. I'm going to be sharing that real soon, okay? The next myth is that all African countries are the same. That is why you see some people in some foreign lands, they tell you, list some countries of the world, and you're saying India, China, and you're saying Africa. Come on! Does that ring a good bell in your ears? Did that sound right to you? Africa is not a country. Africa is a continent. You get plenty countries within inside this continent. A large wella. I mean, Africa is not a country. It is a continent. So if you want to visit Africa, you have to first of all decide on the country you want to go. Oh, I want to go to Africa to feed the poor kids in Africa, to feed them in Africa. Oh boy, come on. That brings me to my next myth, right? Oh, everybody in Africa is poor, so they'll try to take your money. I know that in many countries of the world, there are homeless people, there are poor people, right? Poor people are not indigenous to Nigeria and Africa. There are poor people everywhere. So no, Nigeria is not the home of poor people. They don't flood the streets. We know that there are people who would need more money. We know that people who are not, living average lives in terms of finances. But the fact, somebody mentioned something to me today, that the fact that some people are living in the village with no access to internet does not make them destitute. They are content in their own way. The things we measure success around is not what they measure success around. We bring superficial things to them and then make them start thinking about these things. But that is not the conversation that we're going to have today. So let me give you some tips on how to stay safe in Africa when you're visiting Africa, because I will still say this, there's nowhere that violence do not happen. Okay, in fact, there's some places that violence happen more than in Africa. So let me tell you, okay? I don't know how many school shootings that you've heard about in Ghana, in Botswana, in Nigeria, but I can't say the same for some other parts of the world. But let me just give you some safety tips to be safe everywhere you go, in any continent you go. First things first, when you travel, visit the major cities, unless you're going for outreach programs that require you to go to the grassroots. So before you do that, you have to be in touch with somebody, a local who can help you, or somebody who knows their way around these places, so you be safe in their hands. But if you're not going for an outreach program or a specific program, visit major cities. You can start with the major cities. In Nigeria, you can find some like Lagos, Abuja, Ibadan, Port Harcourt. You can see some other parts in Africa. You can see Joburg. There are so many other places that you can visit, but you have to visit major cities first. Then if you want to spread your wings, you can try that. Keep a low profile. I mentioned this one time that a foreign rapper, he was launched in a Western country, right? And he was just posting pictures and everything he was doing, and he posted his house number, and that is how he was attacked. Okay, keep a low profile. When you're in Nigeria, be careful. If you're in Ghana, be careful. If you're in Ethiopia, if you're in the UK, if you're in the US, be careful. Do not attract unnecessary problems to yourself by wearing fancy jewelry, and not just wearing them, but then putting them online. Stay away from areas that people know that are well known for crimes. Okay, do not carry too much money with you. Yesterday, a man was talking to somebody. He was in his car and he wanted to bring out some money, so he put his hand into his breast pocket and brought out a wad of cash and just brought out one bill and gave it to the man. Like, he was with 1,000 naira cash, a wad of it that would have been up to like 50,000 naira, and looked for the 500 naira in that wad of cash and gave it to the man. I was just thinking, I said, this guy could just trace you. collect the remaining money, because how will you bring out? So why don't you just bring out the amount that you know you'll be needing on the road and keep the rest somewhere? Try to blend in, okay? It is a good idea to not look like you are a tourist. Just like when you are in Nigeria and you want to go somewhere, you take a bike or a bus, you say, I better go this place. You just bring it down. I'm like, God, I won't go this place. So they won't try to mock, they won't try to extort you or take you as a journey just come. So try and fit in. If you're lost, stay calm, ask for directions from someone at a safe place. Also spread your luggage, the contents of your luggage, evenly amongst your other luggages. I told you this thing before, because you might lose one, so you won't be left stranded. And always let people know where you are. You can turn on your location, you can do anything you want, but just make sure that people know where you are. So people have their steps. First of all, you take a picture of the license plate of every car you get into, send to somebody, your designated security advisor, anybody, your friend or your family member. Take a picture of the driver stylishly and then put on your location. Those 3 things will help keep you safe. And I know that some of us can be nocturnal like Lillian, but try to explore during the day alone. It is safer to visit places when it is daylight. So if you're going into a new place, try to get there before it gets dark. It's always good to leave wherever you are early so you can get to where you're going early. And do not discard your feelings when you have intuitions. Trust it. My gut feeling, not a lie. So trust it. I'm going to let you hold on to these ones for now, and next time we'll debunk some more myths about some other countries, okay? This one was for not just Nigeria or Africa, but for travel in general, just with a little bit of specifics for Nigeria and Africa. My name is Lillian, listening to Africa Tech Radio. I keep staying techie.
Thanks for listening, and don't forget to catch up on all the live shows right here on africatechradio.com.